Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of All the Mods 10 to the Sky. And today we are getting into mechanism. I'm going to do the metallurgic infuser on camera one time, and then everything else kind of follows what we've done previously. So let's get right into this. So first things first, infused alloy. This is a very basic recipe. It requires one piece of redstone, one copper, infused alloy. Now, you'll see that there's different slots in here. This is the extra slot, this is the input slot, and this is the output slot. Now, that's what makes it complicated. The extra slot is not able to be inputted through the input slot. So only copper can go into the input, only your enrichment material, or whatever this is called, can go here. So the extra material can only go into the extra slot. So one piece of redstone is 10 millibuckets. Just keep that in mind. Enriched redstone gives you 80 millibuckets. So if you have an enrichment factory or enrichment chamber, that is going to be your best bang for your buck. Okay, so with that covered, we have an advanced pattern encoder. Now, the advanced pattern encoder is going to allow for us to get this recipe, clear out that liquid redstone, and do this specifically. And then we're going to do this, and on the, let's say, down direction, we are going to input into this. So we're going to snag that out, and we've got the advanced pattern encoder here. Let's actually also quickly grab those, and we'll most likely need to do pipe upgrades for just getting more energy over here. Okay, so metallurgic infuser, advanced pattern encoder, put this, not that, this one in here, and we are going to say on the down direction, I guess I can't shift click into this one, so we're just going to click that. So on the down direction, we are going to do extra. On the top, we're going to do input output. Very, very simple. Okay, and we're going to close that, and this should work. So infused alloy, we'll just say 16. And you can see that this is already working. Very, very simple, very, very compact method of doing this. It just requires a little bit of an advanced AE. So you don't need the machines that we have over there. It is just advanced AE. Let's actually look, because here's the recipe. So you just need the ME pattern provider, redstone dust, ender pearl, logic processor. Nothing complicated. You can get this when you start AE2, basically. So some good stuff. That is the metallurgic infuser automated. Nothing complicated. I guess the only other thing I forgot, make sure we turn on auto eject here, because that is going to be a thing. Because this can't auto pull, it just is able to accept an input, right? So, but yeah, that is automated. I'm going to get the rest of mechanism automated off camera, which, if you don't know, there is the refined obsidian, this stuff here, that leads to the ultimate tier. So ultimate, so the ultimate control circuit, there is also the atomic alloy. I can just look up alloys here. So atomic alloy, reinforced alloy. There's two more control circuits, so there's the elite and the advanced. None of this stuff is overly complicated. Just gonna go through, gonna automate it. JEI will help you if you guys get lost. I have tons of other videos doing this, so we're just gonna jump through it now. All right, so we're able to now make a digital miner. So this is going to kick off everything. I've got max upgrades. These are all tier ultimate. This just took a little while, nothing too extreme. We do have the enrichment factory, so I swapped from redstone to the enriched redstone, which overall just allows for us to get more bang for our buck, right? That's not too complicated, and the digital miner is already done, which is beautiful. So I'm hoping we have enough power in our RR system, just in general, to actually power this. I think we do, and if I'm too worried about it, I could probably go get some more 64x generators. You know what, let's just do that. Let's grab 2 more, and these guys should craft up pretty quickly, and we can place that guy, and we need to grab some pipe upgrades. Put this guy here. And we just do pipe, pipe. That should be good. So that's a little bit more power. So what we're using this for is over at the End Island, I want to take a trip. Should grab some ender pearls. Out to the End Highlands, I do believe is what we're looking for. Maybe. There we go. Okay. We're going to look for an End Highlands, which I think we already actually are in one. So I'm going to go up to this high point here and then place this down. I've actually already been to this end city before, so this thing's whole cleared out already. So we're just going to plop this guy down here. And we are going to do all of that stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to do config. Actually, what is the unobtainium? I guess I can do new filter, item stack, and then unobtainium ore, save, and we'll do 16, and that should be good. Let's do silk touch. Actually, I don't think silk touch matters, does it? We'll just do it anyway. Okay, so that is not reaching anything. So reset config. Can't I do -64 or something with this one? Or is it this one? What is the Y level? Let's see. I always forget which one's which. So that's the up and down direction. So let's do 128. Just max it out. And then start. Stop, reset, config. Is any of this generating? I thought you could do negatives on one of these guys. This thing is not finding anything. Unless it just doesn't work inside of this, which would be perfectly like an actual reasonable thing that it may not even work. But then again, we may have a generation issue. So let me just go fly out and try a couple more spots and I'll be right back. Okay, I have found our first bit of unobtainium here. And I guess the real question, does this digital miner do anything for us? And did I just waste time going into mechanism? So let's click start, stop, reset, config. Why would they do it that way? So I quickly want to take a look at F3G. No, not F3G. F3H. Whole bunch of silent gear crap. I can't read all of it. So let's just pick up a piece here. Do I want to... Oh, I have to have a better pickaxe. That's why I was trying to do it this way. Was because I didn't really want to have to get that pickaxe, but I guess I'll have to. We'll do /home. Let's put this stuff away. And let's look at upgrading this pickaxe, I guess. So we're just going to waste some vibranium here real quick. Just so that way I can actually get this. And we'll go to the smithing table over here. And we will do this, which will give us a nice fancy pickaxe. And can I do /back? I can do /back, so that works. Okay, perfect. But yeah, doing silk touch may have been more effective. Probably, in all honesty, but I don't have a silk touch vibranium pickaxe. So I guess I will just fly around for a little while, trying to find this ore. I have a complete thing of the unobtainium GeOre, and I've actually been messing around with a couple things behind me, which I'll talk about here in a second. But this is running for quite a while. Same thing as the vibranium here, the exact same thing. Compacting, furnace, all of that jazz. Nothing has been altered or changed. It's just, you know, stacked here, and it's been running decently. All right, so you may be wondering why there is a render of an area here, and that is because I was told that you can do things like this, where you can actually touch directional growth accelerators, boosted growth accelerators, do these GeOres, and you can actually use them for multiple. Of course, you have to be careful because if you put more than the maximum amount of these accelerators on one GeOre, it'll cause a conflict. I know we saw that when we first messed with these things. So these things are not directional, besides the fact that if they touch any face, besides, of course, the power face, you have to have power for these. But yeah, they do what they do, and they do it pretty well. So one of the things I want to look at is actually an Eclipse pickaxe, or Eclipse alloy pickaxe. Yeah, this thing right here. So this pickaxe here is supposedly one of the best options for doing the GeOre things, because you can actually do what is called a drops upgrade. And we'll look at that too here in a second. But I want to grab some goo, the shadow pulse, and I want to grab some skulk. And I want to grab some netherite blocks. So I'm going to say 2 times. We could just do 2 times 6, right? Let's do 4 times 6. You did not know you can do math equations inside of that. It's a really cool thing, because I don't feel like mathing right now. So we're just going to put this down right here temporarily. We're going to feed this guy, and we are going to just surround this with netherite. And this will give us Eclipse alloy. And then, of course, we will melt that down and everything here whenever it comes to it. And actually, my pickaxe is over in the block breaker back here, which is rendering this area. I was testing around with a couple things. Okay. And this is the non-silk touch one. We're just going to go ahead and break. And I'll do this a couple more times, and I'll be right back. All right, so we should be able to make an Eclipse alloy pickaxe, which is chargeable. And we're going to get the drops. I think we can actually look at this, right? Where is it at? So it's actually this first one, drops teleport. And I think there may be something else we want, right? There should be the smelter. That's a good one. And I don't think I need anything else. Instantly break all blocks. Is that expensive? Yeah, it gets into time crystals and stuff. I'm not even gonna bother with that. Okay. So smelter upgrade. So let's just grab 2 blank upgrades here. And a couple blast furnaces. Okay, upgrade smelter, and then it drops teleport. And we are going to just do this, and this, this, and this. And I think we can also enchant this pickaxe, can't we? So we may want to just do efficiency. Don't think I need anything else. I think that should be good. All right, let's go quickly enchant this here. So basically what we're going to do, and I actually don't know if this will work, but we're going to try it. I've got a controller access point here, and I want to see if I can put this back here. Let's move this forward one here. I want to see if I can connect to our main drawer and actually use this as the drops teleport location. So if I put this in here... Oh, wait, I gotta set the location. Hold on. Let's just do the front facing of this. And let's turn this on. Okay, nothing is occurring. Okay. So let's do a barrel. It was worth a shot. That was kind of the entire premise of that, was it was worth a shot. I'm going to upgrade this barrel even further here real quick as well. And I think we'll do pipe. So this, barrel, this and this. And then put this in here. Oh, I gotta rebind it, don't I? Oh, I keep forgetting that. Is it gonna do anything? That was confusing. It's like breaking the weirdest things. What is it doing? Okay, I looked into the weirdness and I found a couple of people talking about that you need to filter this by the smelted item, not just the item that comes from the actual cluster. And also, quickly, do I have the shrinking gadget in here? This might make things somewhat easier to get around over here. Okay, hold on. There we go. There we go. Now we can unshrink. Perfect. So all I need to do is grab diamonds, redstone, gold. I've already put iron and lapis in here just to test, and that does seem to function. So let's just get that going here. So diamonds, redstone, gold, and I definitely don't think this is going to be the fastest. I think there's some other things that I want to look into, but this was kind of a test run because, yeah, you can see how slow this is actually going. It looks like it's a decent pace, but it definitely could be a little bit faster. So I've got some ideas, which I'm just probably going to set up an individual block breaker for each individual one. I'm not worried about resources. Space is the biggest reason why I combined all these things instead of, you know, having them like these, right? Just having them like this. Because in reality, I could have put another set of the budding vibraniums here as well, which I may in the future. Definitely an option. I cannot move these guys, so they're going to kind of just stay there because I'm too lazy to remake them. But yeah, that is a thing. Also, let me quickly get rid of this guy. This was here because I had a temporary system here messing around with a couple things. And I also forgot about that Omega tier. I will go put that inside this barrel over here. Just so that way we have a stack upgrade just in case something overflows. Not a bad idea. And I won't need to have a furnace, which is going to be fantastic. So let me work on getting this. I'm just going to set up a block breaker, pickaxe, all of that fun stuff for each individual one. Not going to cost a whole lot, but I think that'll make things much quicker and much less of a hassle. So I will be back when that is complete. I have completed the currently existing GeOre that is here with block breakers and stuff. So this is working, and it seems to be a little bit particle heavy, especially with just Dire things, all of its particles, and how Dire loves particles. So what I'm going to do, because I have actually more of these GeOres to do, is I am going to be back in a little while to finish up the rest of them, because my plan is to basically do this for every single GeOre that exists. Whether that be black quartz or the zinc or uranite or aluminum or lead, nickel, osmium, platinum, silver, tin. I've already got uranium, aldemodium, of course. That's probably going to be a good one just so that way. Basically, the end-all be-all goal is to get rid of this whole thing down here. So that is a thing. But before I jump off camera, we can actually make one of these guys. I've been working on this off camera as well because this is very, very important. And this does lead us to have all of the cobblestone that we could ever need. So what I want to do is I want to make a handful of these compacting drawers. I'm going to say 4 of them. And I want to storage bus. Actually, I guess I want to figure out how to do this again because I know there's a way to do this, but I don't remember how fully. So let's kind of just experiment real quick. Storage bus. As if I remember correctly, there's a way for us to Actually, I don't think it's this. I think it's the MEIO port, ain't it? This thing right here. Yes, MEIO port. MEIO port. Because basically, I should be able to just do something very, very simple like this. So if I set this to cobblestone, set this to cobblestone with a very high priority, and let's quickly lock this drawer as well. And I put this in here, and I grab a cable, and I don't know if I can do flux or energy scepter. I may need to just hook this into my system with a quartz fiber, but I'm trying to see if I can just avoid that. And flux point, I already have one in my inventory. Okay, and then an acceleration corridor 4. So just 3. So this is going to fill this drawer with that. I was thinking this was faster. This used to be faster. But I'll take it for now. And I might look into this a little bit more off camera. And then we just grab some pipes. So I think we can set it up like this. We snag this one, put that one there. Pipe wrench, perfect. Do this. Snag this one, put this one here. Disable that, enable that. And this is like a very crude compacting system for cobblestone. Not the most effective in the world, but still enough to get us somewhere. I remember this thing being super fast. Is there another MEIO port in here that I might be missing? There's an extended one. Well, I have the ability to do this and then extended. What does this thing do? 5 acceleration cards. That might be better. But I'm kind of wondering if the main draw is because we're not powering this enough. So let's just grab a quartz fiber. And some more Fluix cable. So we'll just run... do this, do that. Oop, and I did not lock this drawer. So we'll just take a stack, quickly lock it. Perfect. So it's actually struggling to keep up, which is kind of funny. So this was the play. I hope this is like kind of a better method to do this. And basically the reason I'm doing this is because now I can take this 6x cobblestone and I can break this down into the other ones that we need. Because if you did not know, you actually do need an infinity cobblestone cell to then make the next tier, which is gravel. And with the gravel cell, you can then use that to make a sand cell, and the same thing with dust. Honestly, all I'm caring about right now is getting the sand cell. And all I've got to do now, instead of just wasting a whole bunch of sand, is I can come here with a compacting hammer. There's gravel. There's sand. Done. Perfect, right? So I actually don't really need this because you do need just 6x. That is the top, right? I don't need anything higher from what I know. So that'll work. That is beautiful. and that is why I set this up. Of course, I do need cobblestone in the system. We do have 10 million, but I would like to just have this in here. And I don't think right now, let's look, 25.6M. Okay, so we can craft one of these guys. I think I'm going to click start on this. And all of these guys up here should start going. Which, yes, I did actually separate these all off camera, so there's a whole bunch more circuit slicers up here. But this is actually what's going to make this significantly quicker. Because I don't have to worry about anything other than the just crafting of it, right? The speed should be significantly faster. And also with the GeOre, so the reason I chose a lot of these GeOre is because they are being used inside of recipes like that with the E2. So I was thinking, you know, well, let's get GeOre down and let's do these specific items, because then we are way less wasteful. All the other ones, that's why I haven't done them. So just so you're aware. But everything else is going to get going. Everything's going to start cruising. And of course, we do have tons of sand in here still, which is beautiful. Yeah, so that is some good stuff. I think for now, we're going to wrap this episode up here. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do off camera, especially the GeOre and all of that stuff, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be me taking the exact same thing that I've already done over and over and over again until we get a collection of all of them. And there may be some stuff like the Certus quartz that we don't quite have automated in any capacity, so this may be something that we want to do. It looks like, yeah, inside of this we can actually do flawless budding Certus quartz, which means that we can actually just do this like GeOre, which is pretty cool. So that is an option. That is some good stuff. And with that, we will be back in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.